No, we went through a very open process, and a very inclusive process. It was bottom up. I don't know if you know that.
I do appreciate the honesty here. In a rare moment of honesty, Governor California dictator Gavin Newsom says exactly what happened in the DNC when they decided to, without any of the voters' approval, switch their candidates and save democracy. The irony is unbelievable, but there is a tidbit about this that nobody will talk about with Gavin Newsom that needs to be talked about. But let's watch this. Gavin Newsom admitting that, sarcastically, this was open. We definitely did the will of the people in installing Kamala Harris to be our nominee.
Tangible. It's different.
How are you feeling about the switch?
I mean, the switch. No, we went through a very open process, and a very inclusive process. It was bottom up. I don't know if you know that. Yes, that's what I've been told to say.
Yes, it was a blitz primary, I believe. That's what they called it.
It's a very, very fast blitz.
I think it was
a blink primary, so we call that.
A 30-minute convention. Between a tweet and another tweet.
It's amazing how it happened.
Yeah, it's been amazing. But what is amazing is how unified everybody is. Yeah. I mean, it's next level.
So.
Okay, despite my utter disdain for Gavin Newsom, which I believe a lot of you probably have, I do appreciate the honesty here. He's just being honest. Yeah, this is a crazy way to do things. The totally fair and open and inclusive primaries. Bottom up, he makes the joke. And then he goes on to say, well, it's never seen more unified. One, I appreciate the fact that Gavin finally, at some point in a rare moment of honesty, is telling the truth. And also, when you wonder why it is that he's poking fun at this, it's because Gavin Newsom does not want Kamala Harris to win the presidency. I realize that might sound crazy, but nobody else is saying this. But it's just factually true. I said this in 2020. Gavin Newsom wanted Donald Trump to win in 2020 more than any person in this country. You're extreme MAGA fans, you're people that just love Donald Trump, and I happen to be one of them, even all of us. Gavin Newsom wanted Donald Trump to win the 2020 election. We've talked about this before, but the baseline is Gavin Newsom wants to run for president. That's the only objective he's ever had since he started his political career. Nancy wants him to be president. Aunt Nancy is pulling for Gavin Newsom to be the president. He can, in 2028, run as a Democrat in an open primary who governed the biggest state in the union. He'll be termed out, but, his hope is that he still will be somewhat relevant, and therefore he can take the White House in 2028. If Kamala Harris wins, Gavin gets pushed out to 2032, and therefore is politically irrelevant, so to speak. He will be a nobody. He'll be pretty old, not Joe Biden old, but he'll be pretty old. He'll be 6 years removed from being the governor. He'll be politically irrelevant unless he begs Kamala Harris for some job in her administration, in which case he then will have to defend Kamala Harris' administration if, unfortunately, she wins now and in 2028. If she wins now, Gavin Newsom has to wait till 2032 because obviously she'll run for re-election in 2028. The bottom line here is Gavin doesn't want to do that. In 2020, he did not want to have to wait until 2028 in case a Democrat won. If a Democrat won, which they did in 2020, Gavin would have to wait until 2028. So now he is in the worst position of having to pretend that he wants Kamala to win because of the ideological similarities, but at the same time, really, really not wanting her to win. So when Gavin is somewhat honest here, and I believe he's telling people actually what he thinks. Yeah, this is totally open primary, being sarcastic. It was bottom up, and definitely. The reason is because he actually does not want Kamala Harris to win. At the same time, not even at the same time, but in addition to all of that, the fact that Democrats can openly acknowledge, yeah, we rigged the system for Kamala. That's what it is. I'm not using like hyperbolic language here. They rigged the system for Kamala Harris, which is fine. They get to do that. But then to go on and say, well, we're trying to save democracy by completely ignoring everyone's votes in our own party and installing somebody that is hugely unpopular, not only with the American people, but our party as a whole. Yeah, good luck trying to make that case to the American people that you're the people going to save democracy. But again, in a rare glimpse of Gavin Newsom being honest, he says the thing that is clearly true sarcastically and makes the joke about it. And the reason he does that is because he wants Kamala Harris to lose. For his own political ambition, him, Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer, any of the Democrats who think that they have a shot at being the president do not want to have to wait until 2032, especially on the piggyback of what a would-be Kamala Harris presidency would do to the country. They think, well, again, put yourself in the mind of Gavin. Gavin running in 2028 as a former governor of the most populous state of the union. He gets to start his campaign 2 years earlier, probably while he's still the sitting governor. He terms out in 2026. But he gets to run after another Trump presidency. That could not be a better option for Gavin Newsom if he was looking at this as his political ambition to be the president of the United States. The worst thing that could happen is him having to wait until 2032 on the heels of a Kamala Harris presidency, which is bound to be not good at all, and have to defend it, especially if he gets sucked into the administration as a whole. So there's Gavin being honest for once and doing it from a selfish position.